Beautiful Mommas, welcome to A Mom for Every Season, and today I'm sharing with you how I plan my year and how you can plan your year of your most heart-centered and intentional year of motherhood yet. I will be sharing a little printable in the description box below to help you along with this. And as you can see behind me, there is a big, beautiful calendar behind me, and I will make sure to post the link for that in the description box below too. Today, I'm going to share with you how I go about planning it and all the fun little tips and tricks about planning your goals and planning and making sure what you are planning is important to you. So if you watched I think 2 weeks ago, I posted a video on the 6 questions to ask yourself in the new year. So if you watch that video, you'll know that my word is aligned. So in every choice, every habit, every action I am doing this year, I am, thinking, is this choice or action aligned with a better version of myself? Is this in alignment? Is this moving me closer to my goals or further away? So when I can think of that in the grand scheme of things, and if it's a no, then I don't do it. Even if it's a small thing. I've grown and it's been an amazing It's been an amazing 2018 for me, but of course, as human beings, we want growth and we're continually learning and growing. So of course, I want to come back to that word and those questions every time. So when you're planning your year, the important thing to make sure is, of course, if you don't plan it, it's probably not gonna happen. And you know what, Facebook and Netflix and YouTube are all gonna, or busyness, we tend to overschedule ourselves and we put other things in front of what we actually value and what is actually important to us. Okay, so what you will need is any type of calendar. You can look at into this newyear.net calendar, or you can look at really any type of calendar. I love the size of this one, so I'm excited to use it. And we're gonna put it up in our mudroom where everyone in our family can see. The calendar behind me here is something new that I'm trying, and I actually got it from Kathy Stowell, who is a mama coach and a creative bliss coach as well. And I'll have to see if I can get you a discount code. If there's a discount code, I will get it. I'll put it in the description box down below as well. But the thing I love about it is, rather than having a traditional calendar where you flip through it and it's month by month, this calendar goes week by week. So there's no interruption. As you can see, there's no interruption. So it goes from April to May, and there's literally no interruption. So I really actually am excited to use this and see how it fits in our family. I printed 2, so you get the printable, and then all you do is, I went to Staples here in Canada. I'm not sure if Staples is in the US or anywhere else, but that's where we went. And I just printed it on engineered paper, and I got 2, and they were only $6 each, so they were $12. And I'm gonna use Post-it notes because I actually really like Post-it notes. They're bright and colorful, and it's easy to switch around because my husband works shift work, which kind of makes it a bit more complicated because we can't really do a set Monday, or Sunday to Saturday schedule because our family schedule rotates throughout the week. You will need pens, any markers, really anything your heart desires. If you don't really care for Post-it notes, then don't worry about it. Be sharing with you a free printable, questions to ask yourself, and they will go along with planning your new year and planning your calendar that I am sharing in this video today. So to start, step number 1 and step number 2 literally have nothing to do with this calendar. Nothing. But it is super important that you identify them, and you can check out that free printable again in the description box below. Step number 1 is identify your core values and what is important to you. Because if you have a calendar that is overstretched, overscheduled, and busy for the sake of being busy, you're not gonna have a year of intention, and you're not gonna be your best self, your best version of yourself, and life will just be hectic and busy. And of course, we wanna make sure that we're planning what's the most important to us. To be living from a place of alignment and love and not of overwhelm and being burnt out. And really important to identify these core values first before you move forward at all. For me personally, and I would think this is true for most parents, but family is definitely one of my core values. And another big one for me is self or self-care. I find that one kind of all-encompassing. Because when I am most connected to myself, I am most connected to my soul, most connected to God, most connected to like everything, and I am a better version because I have put myself first so that I can pour into other areas and other core values in my life. So that is definitely another core value. And as a mom, I can guarantee too that if you are not, taking care of you, then that is where it is more likely that we are impatient and frustrated and just not in a good place in motherhood. We definitely need to take just little steps towards ourselves. For planning your year, you want to ask yourself, what is important to me? What are the things that I value? And what should be at the very top of my calendars and my schedules? Core values is something I learned from my coach and mentor, Erin Sky Kelly. It just really hones into the fact that you need to pour into what you value, what's important to you, and those that you love first. And that's what makes life beautiful. And again, she says that you're not gonna, on your deathbed, you're not gonna be thinking about who won The Bachelor or who got the rose, right? Like, let's pour into the things that mean everything to us and that are gonna make our life fulfilled. Because again, if you don't plan it, it's not gonna happen, and it's just gonna drift along. It's just gonna drift along with life's a busy, hectic schedule. You value a connection with God, and you want to work on your spirituality. Maybe your self-care is important. So really it can be different aspects or even characteristics that you value. So family, those are my marriage and my family. Those are what I want to pour into. Those are what I want to make sure they feel loved and that I'm present with them. So I want to pour more into that and into my family. If I'm, straying away from those, then I need to constantly keep coming back to these values. And another one for me right now is integrity. So keeping promises to myself is a huge thing for me right now. So you can look at other characteristics and question, if you have 5 or 6, look at them and ask yourself, if that were to disappear in my life, would I still be able to live? That take a part of your soul? Would that take, just really question whether that is really a value of yours or something you think you should have. When I go into planning my calendar, I am going to make sure that I plan my top things first, because everything else, like your social media, your even business, I know is gonna happen. And I do value my YouTube channel, of course, I value you guys, but at the top of my list, I have to make sure my self-care and my family and keeping my word to myself, and I have a couple others as well, that those come first. That I'm not pushing that aside to make other things happen. So I have to be an excellent time manager and really being productive in my time when I'm getting my content done, when I'm getting, I'd like to do future blogs. I have to make sure that I'm not making that because you can get into a trap of where everything, or you can have urgent things, but they're not important, taking over your important values. Okay, step number 2 is think of your big goal for the year, but I also like to chunk it down. I tried this last year and I chunked it down into 3-month sections and thinking of a goal that is still in line with your core values and it is something you want to work towards. And I believe that moms should have some form of self-care as one of their goals. So think in terms of your 3 months, picking just one little area you can work on for that 3 months in your self-care. So that may be getting more sleep or making more time for yourself, getting up earlier so that you can put yourself first before you put everyone else first. That could look like just something that brings you joy and brings you love and that only you can do. So cleaning is something you can delegate. That's not really self-care. I know a lot of moms feel like they can't get anything done until they have cleaned their house. but really taking a look and looking at a little area of your life. Maybe that's your nutrition, just really doing something just for you, and pick something you can work on every 3 months. And I assure you, if you work on those for the next 3 months and then add in something the next 3 months, you will feel so much better. It's not selfish. We need to fill our cups first before we can fill others. Your goal is something related to fitness. What can you work on in the next 3 months that can work you towards your bigger goal? So maybe that is working out 4 times a week, or maybe that is making sure you go for a walk every day. Movement is so beneficial for us. It gets us, our bodies moving. It helps elevate those endorphins. It helps, for me, even I am in a total better mental state if I have moved my body. And it does a whole bunch of other amazing things. It prevents postpartum depression. So make sure you try and incorporate some sort of movement for your mental health and your being. Okay, step number 3 is I always encourage I like to add a little habit each month. So by the end of the year, I have 12 habits that I've worked on all year long. So giving yourself a month gives you a little bit of time to establish it. And then once you have moved on to the next habit, still incorporate the one from the month before. So by the end of that 12 months, you're gonna have 12 new habits for that whole year. So, and these are just little things. It can be like writing in a gratitude journal. It can be it could be adding more vegetables to your day. It can be, just think of something little you can add to your life and add to your daily life. Let's do this. We're gonna fill this calendar out. This is step number 4. So first things first, I know I told you to look at your core values and make sure they are at the front of your schedule. Okay, I'm gonna work a little bit backwards here because yes, I know you're gonna be like, Taryn, you told me to fill out my core values first. But in the grand scheme of things, there are a few things, obviously events you kind of have to work around. You can work around work schedules or birthdays, or if you know of any upcoming, like my daughter has a gymnastics meet, like that's stuff that can't really be negotiated. Those are the days and we have to work around those. So of course, yes, it's a little bit backwards, but when I know my husband's work schedule, we can plan our family days, which is my core value. I'm not gonna schedule a family time on a day he's working. We wanna have our core values working together. So that is why, of course, I'm putting non-negotiable kind of events and work schedules first. Next few clips, I'm just gonna show you kind of a sped up version of how I go about planning my calendar. So here I'm just doing little post-it notes. The big post-it note is actually my self-care goal that I'm working on for the next 3 months. So I'm not going to put that on every single day, obviously, because that's a lot, but my goal that I'm working towards is bed early and waking up an hour to an hour and a half before my kids wake up so that I can work on my own self-care and my own self. So for the video, you're mainly seeing my core value of how we're planning our family life, because for the most part, my self-care and my goals and my habits, I'll be planning out in my bullet journal that I fill out every week. Have a family core value. A great idea is to sit down with your family and come up with ideas that you would like to do as a family. If you'd like to do more dates with your spouse or one-on-one time as a family, because that's kind of what we have been working towards. And we just really sat down here and planned out February here. The stuff that's kind of set in stone is written in pen, because obviously that's not really going to change. Then we're making a goal to spending more time as a family, so you'll see that in the orange are family outings. So we're going to plan one family outing like outside of the home, and then we're going to do something fun at home once a month as well. My oldest daughter's one-on-one time is the pink post-it notes. So we're making it a priority to spend more one-on-one time with each child and just doing something special to make them feel loved and again feel special. My son is the blue. I let them choose their own colors and that's what they went for. And my youngest is, she's still a baby, so she gets lots of one-on-one time. And then the last thing that I put on the calendar is just the days that I know I can do a little bit of content creation. So whether that is social media like Instagram or YouTube videos, or maybe writing a blog post. So I will work around my husband's schedule to kind of just batch those together, and I try and do my best to make sure I batch videos together or I'm batching my Instagram posts together, just because it's the most time productive thing that I can do for my family. Okay, and step number 5, follow through. So of course allowing yourself some grace and some flexibility, because there are going to be days that, you know, your kids are sick, or maybe you have to go into work extra, or your husband has to work overtime, whatever that is. Making sure you have that little bit of flexibility, which is why I love the post-it notes too, because you can just switch it around and reevaluate. It's kind of like a budget. You know what? You're not gonna set a budget and follow through with it perfectly if you don't check in with it. So making sure to check in with that. Okay, and maybe that means you have to say no to things. Stop saying yes to the things that don't bring you joy or are in line with your goals. So maybe that might look like saying no to the volunteer positions at school, or saying no to having so many activities within your kids' lives that you're just running around mad like crazy. Just maybe honing that down and reevaluating and making sure that they're maybe only doing one activity each and not like 3. And we're humans, we're gonna screw up sometimes, and that's okay. So just having that grace and that flexibility, so that you screw up, if you don't reach your goal, if you don't follow through, just get back at it. If you're following a habit and maybe you miss 2 days, just get back on like it's normal. Don't beat yourself up. We're humans, and it's our human nature to make mistakes and have those failures. But really, it's not even a failure unless you don't get back up. So making sure you get back up and you reevaluate what is important to you. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you found some value in it. If you did, make sure you give it a like. And if you're brand new, I would love for you to subscribe. I post videos on self-care, self-love, intentional parenting, motherhood. I really invite you to come on over to Instagram and follow me under the same name, A Mom for Every Season. And don't forget about that free printable in the description box below. Really, at the end of the day, fill your life, fill your calendar and your schedule with the things that you love and pour into those things. Okay, that's it for now. You can come and join me for a little dance.